the things that people said at school were just like another language to me. It was like, you know, it just didn't make any sense. And then I'd come home and listen to the records and listen to my old man and my uncle and my family playing, and that just seemed to make sense. It was looking through my dad's record collection, I guess, and seeing Eddie Cochran's guitar. That was the first time that, and I'd heard it before I could kind of put a guitar to the sound, you know what I mean? It was either Cochran or Duane Eddy, but I was very, very young, so they probably happened simultaneously. Eddie Cochran's Gretsch with the different pickup on it, the P90, you know, and also that classic shot of Duane when he's kind of leaning back on his toes with that cardigan on. The steelworks were closing down and my dad was being made redundant, and I always thank him for his kind of generosity, really, because they didn't have much money, and this Gretsch country gent turned up that had been in a shop window. That actually belonged first to a local comedian called Bobby Nutt, and he'd sold it, and it had been in the shop window for years and years and years, and it had bleached the front, so the country gent wasn't brown anymore, it was more orangey like this. My dad spent the last of his redundancy money. He paid the double glazing off and he bought me a Gretsch country gent, which was the thing that I wanted, and I was about 14 or 15. It's a weird thing was when I'd played and wrestled with an instrument that wasn't that great, and then to be given the kind of Cadillac of guitars. And I think at the time, I know how much it cost 295 quid, and that was in the early 80s. And then that was a lot of money, and like my dad had to get, you know, a lump sum of money from his redundancy money to pay for it. And I remember the smell opening the case. The thing is with any semi-acoustic or fully acoustic kind of electric guitar is that you have to figure out that sweet spot. Because you can get, because Gretches as well, they do things that I guess they're not supposed to. But I love it all, the kind of, when you stand in a certain point, you can go right up to the amp if you learn about angles and how you angle the guitar. And that's a great chord for putting just a straight G with no thirds, a G neither I call it, you know. And you put that next to the amp and you can get all the strings to sustain, and it sounds almost like cello-like, you know. I love Buddy Holly's guitar playing, I love Hendrix's guitar playing. And my dad played a Strat, you see, he had a 63 Fender Strat, and I never got on with them at all. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because I learned first to play on an acoustic, actually. My first electric was a Hondo too, but my first acoustic was an Echo 12 string that I took all the octave strings on, and it was so bad that I used to put a capo on the 3rd fret just to keep the strings flat to the neck. I learned to play on that, and my dad and my uncle said it's good to learn to play on an acoustic to learn, because it gives you strength in your hands, you know, a lot. You just cover so much ground. I mean, they look like rockabilly guitars. I guess I look like a rockabilly guitarist, but I don't just play that, you know, there's a lot more influences, you know. Sid Barrett as well, stuff like that, you can get a lot of those tones out of it. There's no rules, really, to say that just because this looks like an Eddie Cochran guitar, that or Chet or Duane or something like that you can't do other things with it, and I've done it. Gretches are something that I always go back to if in doubt. I love them really the most. The kind of thing that a lot of the guitars, I feel like I'm holding a toy sometimes as well, you know. With a Gretsch, I definitely know that, you know, that's a guitar.